Chapter 22. McKenzie's Tower Showdown. It was a summer afternoon on January 25, 2010. The town of the Republic of Pizcet was technologically revolutionized and industrialized very quickly. It was no longer the same place as it was 10, 20 or 30 years ago. Technology and industrialization advanced, making for the town to increase its wealth. Since there was more employment and it caused the immigration of people from other places to it, thanks to the great advances and technological projects of the great campus. Little by little electronic machines, vehicles were being introduced into the town of all kinds. Two-wheeled, four-wheeled, flying vehicles such as zeppelins, airplanes and so on. The latest invention of this great technology and engineering laboratory of the town was the invention of intercoms using radio signals from satellite dishes, which could sending a voice or text message over long distances through radio signals. They called this invention the NAV 0931. It was an expensive item, but the majority of inhabitants acquired it. The days before the start of classes in the 9th year, Daniel Black had obtained some of these knobs and gathered some of the group at Asgard Ranch to tell them what they would do with them. Guys, I have obtained a series of knobs, the most recent product of the great campus laboratory. This tool will be of great help to us, said Black while taking the devices out of a box. What are they supposed to do? Gavin asked curiously. When we have to split up on a mission, each group will have a nav in charge. It will be easier to communicate. Meet up and we will be up to date with the latest news, Black added. I think that's great. How many did you get? Asked Roger. Enough to cover most of the group members, replied Black. I think it would be good for one of these knobs to be in the meeting room, to be like a main communicator, said Adrian. Yes, I think that, if some of us are outside, and there is someone here and something happens, I can let them know, added Lewis. The days passed. The day came to return to school, Monday, February 1, 2010. The boys returned to the dungeon through the Rancho Lighthouse. Roger did not want to return since he said that he was suffering from a strong flu from the trip to the sewers, along with Gavin, Alessio and Angie, but the rest convinced him to attend, since it would be dangerous if the authorities did not observe him in the cell with the others. That day, the director, Yuri Quested, informed Professor Silvana about the relaxation of the rules towards the students of the dungeons. So Silvana asked the students of the Jade Clover House to appear at the opening ceremony and assignment in the Great Hall. So they were taken by the sentinels and sent to that place of the opening act. Once in the place, the entire ceremony passed. The teachers, new first-year students, introduced themselves. And in the 9th year a new student, named Bastian Banner, entered, a tall, thick boy, with dark skin. He had a big beard like a lumberjack, which is surprising, since the weapon he had in his hands was a bronze axe, a montimber. At the end of the ceremony, the director Yuri Quested informed the students of the Jade Clover House that they would once again be part of the common areas of the school along with the rest of the students. They would receive lessons again in the living room of their house. However, after classes they had to return to the dungeons. The measure was for their good behavior, and to be able to get out. It depended on their performance and behavior in the current year. The norm fell positively, but Professor Silvana and Commissioner Tim Morgan did not seem pleased about this new measure. Although the measure also came from the Patriarch's good intentions for the children. After arriving at the classroom that first week, in class in the music room with Professor Arnold, the boys met Bastian Banner through Emily and Mariah. Bastian was introduced to the Performing Arts Club by Professor Arnold, thanks to his musical skills with percussion, which Gavin practiced. Gavin, Adrian, Daniel and Roger have long been part of the Performing Arts Club through music. Angie was also introduced to the club for her excellent skills with a string bass, while Lewis Emily and Mariah, they were also in the club. That same week there would be a club meeting with the kids from other areas to welcome the new ones. "Hey, Bastian, come here. I want you to meet our friends," said Emily, and then added, "Bastian, these are Gavin, Louis, Adrian, Daniel, Roger and Angie. They are our housemates. Hello everyone." "It's a pleasure," said Bastian, letting out a smile. "So you're a percussionist too?" "That's great." Gavin asked. "Yes, Professor Arnold told me about you, although, without fear of being wrong. I think I'm better than you and more skilled, ha ha ha." Bastian said, boasting. "That would have to be see it. Maybe at the next rehearsal for the end-of-year recital," Gavin said confidently. "Oh please, calm down, there's no need to boast," Angie interrupted. "Your axe looks very powerful, is it your weapon?" Black asked as he looked at the axe that he had next to him. "Yes. I have my axe in its third phase. It is made of bronze. It is powerful. It was my father's. He inherited it to me along with the previous two, lumberjack and metal axe. He says that he is very old and prefers to stay in the mountains in New Riverville or in Woodham lands cutting down trees. Do not think that we damage nature, on the contrary. We have a specific place where we plant the trees that we cut down. Then we plant others. It is a cycle. We respect nature. So since I was little my discipline has always been that of a warrior," explained Bastian. While he saw that Gavin had a boomerang as a weapon and told him, "The axe is a better weapon than a boomerang, ha ha ha." Gavin said, annoyed. "We have all insisted on using the main weapons of the discipline. Only two of us do use their instruments as weapons. They are exceptional in using their weapons as the musical instrument," said Black. "Really? Who are they? Are they in this room?" Bastian asked. "Mariah and Emily," said Angie. "Ow. They're going to make me blush," said Mariah as she blushed. "Ha ha ha." "Not at all. You do what you can." Emily laughed. Mariah and Emily combine their wind instruments such as the saxophone and clarinet as their main weapons. Mariah is a priestess of light magic. Her bow staff can be transformed on the saxophone. And Emily, her clarinet transforms into a very powerful sword. It could even cut an iron bar, said Roger, impressive. Although, my axe is still better. Ha ha ha. Just kidding, said Bastian sarcastically. Can I know the reason for your admission to the school until this year? Adrian asked. I have been helping my father in the sawmill. Has a place in the Central Market, and some stands in New Riverville and Woodham lands. We build cabins, all kinds of things that are made with wood. In addition to supplying a lot of wood to the great campus for its manufactures and so on, all these years, the work has consumed a lot of my time in the sawmill. There I also took the opportunity to train my discipline with my axe, explained Bastian. And what did you think of the new school order? Asked Angie. Oh yes, about that. Believe me, I know who you are. I have seen you in the news and newspapers. If I ended up here I knew that there was a great chance of meeting you. Don't worry, I know that what they did. It wasn't you, said Bastian. Really? Why do you think so? Asked Black. I know of the prophecy. In the sawmill, there was an old friend of my father named Sir Handel Elliot. He was one of my teachers along with my father to develop my skills with the axe. He passed away, said Black. What happened to him? Asked Angie, worried. One morning, 3 years ago. I was bringing wood to the sawmill with machinery. We were in Woodham lands. Sir Handel was with me when we were at the sawmill site. Sir Handel took several logs of wood to make them into smaller pieces. The train station had asked us to make coal for the train boilers. After a while, few logs were missing. Sir Handel he took the last one and the saw of the machine began to crush that trunk. Sir Handel had on his arm a bracelet of his little daughter. That bracelet got stuck in a branch of the trunk. He tried in every way to remove it, but it was too much. Later, the saw absorbed him and crushed his arm. He screamed, but I couldn't hear him because of the sound of the saw. One of his bones stopped the saw, but Sir Handel quickly bled to death and died on the spot. Bastien explained with his head down. Oh my God. How sad, said Emily. I'm so sorry, added Mariah. That must have been a very hard blow for you, said Angie as she touched Bastien's shoulder to encourage him. Yes, I've been getting over that. Sir Handel told me about the prophecy, in fact. According to what my father told me, Sir Handel forged my axe, and recommended me to Pock and Muster in the Central Market to continue forging it to enhance its power in case he was missing one day. Bastien answered. What a nice story, Mariah said. We fight against the prophecy, Black said. You would be a great help, a warrior in what this group needs, Angie said. Would you like to join? I'm sure Sir Handel will be proud if you join in and we end this one day, Gavin added. Are you serious? Well, I think I am the best warrior you can have in front of your eyes. Ha, 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 said Bastien, accepting the invitation and laughing. Yes, and apart from the prophecy, we are looking for a friend named Marycross who is kidnapped, said Gavin. Who is Marycross? A better warrior than me? Bastien asked sarcastically. No, fool, she is a friend of the group. She disappeared a few years ago, and along with the prophecy. We are also looking for her, Gavin said brusquely. Shut up, I'm just joking. I'll help look for her too, said Bastien. Black, you know what to do with him, new boy, said Roger. Bastien. Let me show you a place this afternoon, said Black. And no, don't worry, Black will teach you how to get out of here, said Angie. Do they know how to get out of the dungeons? Bastien asked, surprised. Angie winked at Bastien after that question, and then agreed to join the boys from Asgard Ranch that afternoon. Black showed him the lamp in the dungeon, where he would quickly take them to Asgard Ranch. There Angie and the others asked Bastien about his residence. Nice place. It's an excellent barracks. By the way, tell me that the wood in this place was bought at the sawmill, said Bastien astonished. Well, I think so. It was a long time ago. We went to the Central Market, said Black. Excellent. It means that my father, he sold them our wood, said Bastien. What if it wasn't? Black asked, raising his eyebrows. Well, possibly it's lousy quality wood. And this whole place will fall apart, said Bastien sarcastically. Bullshit, exclaimed Black. Ha ha ha. I was just joking. It's definitely our wood, just by seeing it and smelling it. I know it's from our sawmill, said Bastien. Bastien, where do you currently live? We are all from Green Hills, except for Chaka who lives in New Riverville, but she moved in with us, Angie asked. I always grew up in New Riverville, but we had a home at 328 19th Street, 7th Avenue in Green Hills. So, you could say so, said Bastien. You can move here, for security, and you would be closer to the group in this fight, said Black. I accept. I feel at home, said Bastien delighted. Just one last thing. You need to be part of the Ranch Covenant, said Gavin. Ranch Covenant? And is there food? Bastien asked smiling. It's an oath, Black said between his teeth. After that, I'll show you around the place, Gavin said. Don't be weak, let Black or Angie show me. Ha ha ha, said Bastien touching Gavin's back. Very funny, big guy, said Gavin with disdain. We don't trust just anyone. The pact allows us to be calm about our allies in the anonymity of our headquarters, he said. Lewis, from then on, you will be one of us, said Roger. Excellent. Let's go immediately, and after that, may the god Eshin accompany us, said Bastien. Shoo. Shoo. I correct you, our motto is let luck be with us. It is the motto of our house, and it keeps us safe from the magic of the witch that penetrates the minds of indoctrinated people, said Adrian, remaining silent and correcting Bastien. Fools. They would have warned me. Ha ha ha. It was a joke, I'm very clear about that, but hey, okay, let's get to the point with this. Bastien concluded. Everyone laughed with Bastien after Adrian's response. Months passed. It was Friday, April 13th. That day, the students left their classes at school early. It was Gavin and Hector's birthday. So they began preparations for the celebration that night. Gavin, Roger, Adrian and Black were in the common room of the ranch that morning at 10:50 in the morning. In addition to them were Antoine Paccard and Oscar Rose, two of their classmates since their first year. Happy birthday, Gavin. Today is Friday the 13th. Make sure it's a good day and not a nightmare. Ha ha ha, said Antoine, a short boy, with dark skin, curly hair and a beard. Happy birthday, fella, said Oscar, a short boy with dark skin, short hair and a beard. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. By the way, I've never talked to you before, Gavin said, embarrassed. Neither have I, since the inauguration 6 years ago, ha ha ha. Black replied, laughing. I've only talked to Oscar de Fudblace. Ha ha ha. Roger added, really? From time to time I usually play cards with the two of them, said Adrian. Yes, it was our fault, we went very unnoticed. At least I really like games of chance, but it's a pleasure. You can call me Mott, said the boy. I usually play cards with Mott and Adrian too. If not, you can find me with Aaron, Nick, Roger, Rasmus and Hector chatting about Fudblace. We hope to compete again this year if the director gives us permission, said Oscar, Gavin, Black. Do you know that I have become a millionaire playing against Adrian and Oscar? Ha ha ha. Mott laughed. Wait until you play against Alessio and Bastien. Alessio is a master of card games and chance, said Roger. Yes, that's what I heard Angie say to Priscilla the other day, said Oscar. Hey, I imagine you're playing cards tonight. If you have some time, join us for the barbecue and pizza to celebrate my birthday and the of Hector on the terrace of the ranch after 6, said Gavin. Sure, take it for granted, we will be there. What are you guys doing this morning? Asked Mott. We were thinking of staying here until night, said Black. Mott and I were thinking of going to McKenzie Tower for lunch. Do you want something? Oscar asked. Isn't it dangerous? Adrian asked. No, not at all, we'll go with camouflage, no one will know it's us, said Oscar. Be careful, said Black. Black. The knobs, Gavin interrupted. Oh right, take this, take it with you if there's an emergency, said Black. We're not going alone, they've been there since the morning. Nick, Alessio, Aaron, Nana, Arthur, Aura, Gustav, Malith, Darius, Paula and Natty, all properly camouflaged. We will arrive a little late there, they are waiting for us there, explained Oscar. It is an invasion of the house to the McKenzie Tower, ha ha ha, said Black. May luck be with you, we'll see you at night, said Gavin. Tell the others about the party at night, Roger shouted, and Mott and Oscar left the ranch and headed towards the McKenzie Tower, a tower next to a street full of fast food and artisanal restaurants, pubs and more. Adrian and Roger stayed in the common room. Angie was talking with Priscilla, Bastien, Mariah and Emily on the terrace about whether anyone wanted to accompany her to McKenzie Tower. But none of them really wanted to go, so Angie went alone with the rest. Daniel and Gavin left the room and went to the terrace to talk with Mariah, Emily and Bastien. The hours passed. The time on the ranch clock flowed according to the quality of the conversation on the terrace when it began to ring. Daniel Black's nav. At McKenzie Tower, Mott, Oscar, Nick, Aaron, Alessio, Nana and Paula were at a table enjoying their drinks and a hamburger, when suddenly, Nick is hit in the head by a beer can, followed by the smoke bomb caused by Smotoxarga filled the entire room with white smoke. Everyone got up to leave the place and warn their other friends who were on the upper level of the tower. But Mott was caught by a Lunesque sentinel, who had arrived to McKenzie Tower in a surprising way. Mott was hit in his face and abdomen by one of the sentinels. So Oscar left his nav in Nana's hands and went to help his friend and hit one of the sentinels, but 3 more caught and gagged along with Mott. Angie had come from the elevator. She saw what was happening, and Paula gave her the nav so that she could immediately communicate with the ranch and report what was happening on her day off. Guys, aid! They have us cornered. It's an ambush by Lunesque sentinels. They have Oscar and Mott as hostages. We need reinforcements. Me and Alessio can't do it alone. They must come help us. Angie screamed desperately, while in the background you could hear sirens, people screaming, gunshots and crashes. What the hell? Black said strangely. They caught them. Emily shouted in alarm. But how is it possible? They were wearing camouflage, said Mariah. Someone must have seen them and told those guys, said Gavin. They're stupid. I told them it wasn't a good idea for them to go to that place in the situation we're in, said Priscilla. We must go. Gavin shouted as a suggestion. It's risky. They could catch us. Priscilla added. It would be even riskier for them to stay there, said Adrian. Black, we must go, said Gavin desperately. I'm going with you. Let's help our friends. Those silly sentinels will test the strength of my axe, said Bastian. Mariah, Emily, you stay at the ranch and warn the others and wait here. Gavin, Roger, Adrian, Priscilla. Bastian will go to help and rescue our friends, said Black. What about Louis, Albert and Angelica? Are they going with you? Emily asked. They left. I don't know where they are. If they get there via the nav they will be a great help, but if they return to the ranch, tell them to wait for us here with you, said Black. What? Luck be with you, said Mariah and Emily. As it was around noon, Gavin, Roger, Adrian, Black, Priscilla, Bastian left the ranch towards the great McKenzie Tower. Upon arriving at the location, Daniel Black informed Bastian and Priscilla to enter the tower, while he and Gavin would wait outside. Roger and Adrian would be near the doors at the entrance to the tower. The rest advanced along McKenzie Tower Street, a wide street, with restaurants on both sides, fast food places, such as hamburgers, pizzas, chicken, drinks, artisanal foods, ice cream parlors, pubs, bars, hotels and casinos. Despite if it was noon, many places had their signs on. There was the illuminated sign of the Pizcet Crazy Fried Chicken, PCFC, where the white mustaches of the chef who had the drawing on the lettering. The light bulbs were out of order. It seemed that The sign had a black mouth, another neon yellow sign. The intention of the Delicious Holy Burger burgers was very appealing, just outside the Delicious House Cafe. The lady owner was offering different varieties of coffee combined with other flavors, as they walked in front of Pizzeria La Estrella. Marcanero came out onto the sidewalk with a cigarette in his hand, and shouted, Amici, would you like a pizza? While they saw its colorful sign with a pizza and red, white and green fluorescent lines, the new place on the street, the Dingo's nightclub, was closed. The Bop's dinner restaurant, open 24 hours, offered lunch 2 for 1 at a value of 1,000 rods. The large luminous neon yellow letter M on the tower, where the McKenzie restaurant was already visible in the skies. Rapo Bell was opening its doors that afternoon. Known for its ingredients wrapped in a flour crepe, a railway line of the internal tram of Pizcet passed through there, where it had the particularity of having an underground level of about 300 meters. Right at the entrance to the platform, there was Metro Sandwich, the famous sandwich restaurant. At the end of on the street, next to that place, was Engine Gas Station, which distributed gas for cooking and some machines created in the Great Campus. A huge round red Pizcet soda sign was above their heads, where teetotalers used to drink a drink. Milkshake. Green Meadow Vegetarian and Vegan Restaurant. Come in. Come in, shouted a boy in a chef's suit on the outskirts of Pompey Dinner. Then, a huge orange sign for the fast food restaurant, De Key. There had the peculiarity that its food was sent by means of horses as messengers. It was also a big sausage on a lighted sign. It was Hog Doug's, owned by a Green Hills man, old Jurgen Schultz. The ice cream shops across the sidewalk, Suyai Crepe Vanille Ice Cream, a huge ice cream sign, next to lights greens, yellow and magenta, Tardis. A 24-hour hamburger restaurant for travelers passing through town. N.A.Cause, a restaurant with a huge red pepper and yellow triangles in a cheese sauce on its sign. My L'Estelante is better than yours, shouted a man with a conical straw hat from Wan Sai, a chop suey and fried rice restaurant. Oh yeah? Well, mine has the best pleacious and the best quality, answered a lady in a kimono, in the restaurant that offered sushi, ramen and rice balls. And after reaching the end of the alley, there was a huge sign with a beef with huge brown horns. It was the J.J. Grill Barbecue, a place to eat barbecue and lots of meat. Hey, I see you are very hungry. If you wanna have time, you might be interested in tasting delicious yellow rice with marine ingredients, argued a guy dressed in a suit and a beret with a red sheet. He was leaving a curry shop, where there were a guy with a red ruby on his forehead and a turban. In addition, some barrels adorned the last stall in the alley. There was the wine liquor store. This place offers wine, but they are not at the level of what I do with Gavin, Roger said. The signs with lights were the most striking, whether day or night. That's why the place was known as the street that never sleeps. Gavin and Daniel waited at the entrance to the main street, next to La Estrella Pizzeria, owned by the town's renowned chef, Marcanero, with his artisanal pizzas. Adrian and Roger were already positioned at the entrance to the tower. On the outskirts there were some horses and carriages as patrols, but without sentinels inside. Priscilla and Bastian entered the McKenzie Tower. This place was a building more than 90 meters high. It was the location of the hamburger and chicken fast food restaurant of its owners Becky and Ronald McKenzie for more than 30 years. Its design is based on a transmission tower, with a dome like a plate at its highest part, which covers a large part of the restaurant, in addition to the viewpoint that rotates 360 degrees and shows the entire town of Pizcet, added to a large letter M of neon yellow McKenzie in its dome. Priscilla and Bastian took the elevator to get to the top faster, and not take the stairs, which would take a long time. Upon reaching the top, on the first level there were sentinels, so they had to undergo a duel against them to continue advancing, but stealthily, they surprised the sentinels from behind, knocking them out without the need for the duel and thus preventing them from alerting the others. But it was useless, since suddenly, someone screamed, "Stop! Who's there?" They shouted the sentinels. "They will come with us," said another sentry. "I don't think so," said Bastian. Bastian quickly got rid of the 3 sentinels with his axe. So he and Priscilla continued advancing along the upper floor, where more sentinels appeared again and had Natty, Arthur, Nana, Aaron and Rasmus cornered. "Who the hell are you? Hey you guys. Hands where I can see them. Stay still. If they move, we shoot," said the sentinels. "Go ahead, shoot, fool," said Priscilla, who quickly got rid of them by launching Bernaga and Paralizaga. When eliminating that group of sentinels, Bastian told Natty, Aaron, Arthur, Nana and Rasmus to leave the place quickly. Adrian, Roger, Gavin and Black were waiting for them below, to which Nana responded, "Have fun." Following this, they advanced to the next level of the building. Malith, Darius and Paula were the hostages on this level, where 4 new sentinels appeared again. "Drop the weapons," Sinners will come with us, said the guards, while, from a corner of the room, the civilians fled, shouting in fear, leaving their meals and orders on their tables. You can do it, said Darius, and Malith added, yes, whatever he says. See you, as they ran down the levels looking for the exit. Bastian and Priscilla, with their magic and axe, eliminated this group of sentinels and continued advancing to the third level, where Aura and Gustav were. Look, he is the new boy, now he is one of us. He has the guts and the balls in place to be here. What did they say his name was? Aura said, Bastian Banner. I'm glad he's on our side, he's an expert with his axe, Gustav responded. Bastian and Priscilla told them both to go down to where the others were so they could be taken to the ranch, then a glass door opened, and Bastian and Priscilla continued advancing where they again found 2 sentinels and a sentinel dog. They were easily defeated by Bastian and Priscilla, to the right in that hallway. Observed that to go up to the 4th level, there were some steps, where from above Alessio shouted to them, Hey, Bastian, Pry, go up the steps, hurry up. When they reached the top, Alessio indicated that Angie was alone at the top against the sentinels who had Oscar and Mott gagged, so they went through a second glass door, Alessio commenting, not so fast. Look, we have company. And more sentinels were approaching. Bastian and Priscilla should fight again. Who is there? Close the door, said the sentinels. While one closed the glass door with a security ring, Priscilla quickly turned them into ice popsicles with Friezaga, and Bastian eliminated them with his axe. After defeating them, a large sign on one of the doors had a ship with a sailor. Bastian with his axe broke the security rings and opened the door, thus reaching the last level of the place where Angie was. She had defeated the rest from sentinels. Let the party begin, said Alessio. We're here. Bastian shouted, Can we come in? Said Priscilla sarcastically. Excellent guys. You got my message, said Angie. A burst of fog covered the room again. The restaurant clerks fled and hid under the counters, and among the dissipation of the fog, 3 more sentinels appeared with Oscar and Mott, and a tall guy, with short hair, pointed and elongated face, brown eyes with a rather serious look. On his clothing he wore a sheriff's badge. Greetings, criminals. I am Sheriff Marcus Vesco, stepson of Commissioner Tim Morgan, and I am here to arrest you this morning for once again violating the laws of our town, said the subject. Infringement? This was all a mistake. Angie shouted, Free our friends or I'll chop you to pieces with my axe. Bastian said gruffly, You won't get away with this, your sentinels are trash. And we want you to tell us. Where is Marycross? Asked Priscilla. Ha ha ha. I don't know what you're talking about. As far as I know, you kidnapped that girl, but hey. In the blink of an eye I'll load you into our patrol cars, said Sheriff Vesco as his eyes were turning red and yellow. The duel began in the McKenzie Tower. Alessio, Angie, Priscilla and Bastian against Sheriff Vesco and his 3 sentinels. Marcus Vesco had a shotgun and a whip, so he attacked the group with both. Alessio threw his spear towards one of the sentinels. One of the sentinels began to take out potions to heal his allies, but Priscilla cast Paralyze and quickly kept them still, since they had gone into paralysis. The sheriff fired a series of Bernaga bullets with his shotgun. Angie fired 3 arrows with Frieza against the sentinels, leaving them paralyzed by the cold. Bastian took the opportunity to throw his axe at them like a boomerang and eliminated the first sentinel. As his axe was returned to his hand, he struck the other sentinel. Alessio launched his spear again with his hands, directly impacting the second sentinel, eliminating him. Vesco used Drenny and Osmosis against the group, snatching energy and magic power from them while a blue and green light came out of their bodies, followed by this Angie and Priscilla launched Electra with arrows and spells respectively against the last sentinels to finish them quickly, which left Marcus Vesco without a chance to heal. Then the sheriff launched his whip, whipping Bastian, but the blow was not as strong. Followed after this, he used his shotgun again to launch bullets with Vaboga and Paralizaga to paralyze Alessio. But he avoided the attack, as he deflected the bullets with his sphere. Now, Vesco used Wizarda to absorb Priscilla's power, but Pry managed to dodge it, and then used Asterer on the group. A strong blow, so Priscilla used Dead on Marcus Vesco, causing him to be cursed with losing vitality little by little. Shortly, Alessio used his special attack, so he launched his sphere, causing him to hit Marcus Vesco 8 times with a Frieza sphere, followed by Angie also used her special attack and launched 8 Burna's flaming arrows at the sheriff, and finally, what everyone expected to see, Bastion's special attack with his axe. He made the attack called Woodcutter's Cut and cut the bulletproof vest that the sheriff had, falling to the ground. Then Angie took the opportunity to invoke Ganesha, and this ended up giving him the victory in the duel to the boys, drowning the sheriff with a Kwarga. After the duel concluded, the sheriff's body began to fade, which was a new sign of the evil effects of the witch. The sheriff was acting under the effects of it. And that confirmed the theory that the entire Lunesque station was also. The boys left the place, the rest were waiting at the door, and they all returned to the ranch after the battle. Already at the ranch, at night, everyone commented on the morning situation in the McKenzie Tower and under the moonlight. On the terrace of the Asgard ranch, they ate pizza and barbecue, celebrating the rescue of their friends and the Gavin and Hector's birthday.